Hello everyone, welcome to Back to Self podcast. So today we will cover relationships and the big question, why we are in relationships that we are in. What really gets involved and how come we ending up with the people that we are? Is it just chemistry or maybe there is something else going on subconsciously? So today I will answer those questions. It is true that childhood really impacts us and shapes our belief system, our self-worth, our self-concept, what we think about ourselves, what we think about others. Those experiences, if they were unhealthy, if they were hurting us somehow, if our needs were not met, this will stick with us. This will be part of our personality. So if you have unhealed wounds and if you notice that some patterns are being repeated in relationships, it can mean that you're actually subconsciously repeating the dynamics that you were growing up with. It's true that we gravitate towards people who feel familiar rather than healthy. We always will choose what we know rather than what we don't know. We choose comfort over growth. If you have unhealed wounds, if you don't really work on yourself, if you really don't see inside what's going on there, what kind of beliefs you hold about yourself, men, women, those patterns will be mirrored back to you in your relationships. And it's true that we always choose our partners to be like our mothers. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't really matter. We always choose a mother for our partners. And it's not because mothers are better or mothers are number one. No, it's not about that. Mothers are the first person that we come contact with. Mothers are the first people we get to know them emotionally. We really build that connection with them. Our birth, it's all part of our story. It's part of who we are today. So if there is any trauma at the very beginning, it will also have impact on you. Let's just revisit your relationship with your mother. What kind of mother you had? Was she caring, loving, understanding, warm? Was she patient? Was she available? Was she listening to you? Was she attuned with your needs? Because if that is so, then that's exactly what kind of partner you will choose. If, however, your mother was angry, distant, she was maybe abusive, she was neglectful, she was absent, maybe she was working all the time, maybe she was too afraid to take any responsibilities, any decisions. So always the father, let's say, would make any decisions. Maybe your mother was a very anxious mother. Then I want you to ask, how did you feel when you were growing up with a mother who was anxious, abusive, neglectful? Were you stepping into the role of being the fixer? Were you trying to get your mom to feel better? Was your role to protect her, to look after her needs? Was your roles reversed? Because if that is so, then you will choose a partner that you will feel like you really need to look after. A partner that might have addictive issues. A partner who you will need to save constantly. It's not about love. It's not about chemistry, and it's about the subconscious beliefs. It's about those subconscious programs that you have inside you. This is what you know. This is what feels familiar. And based on that, you're going to choose partners where you will feel like you know your role. If your mother was abusive, unpleasant, you might actually be in partnership where fear, where uncertainty, unpredictability will be part of your present relationship, because that's what feels familiar. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're doing this consciously. Obviously, everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to choose the love of our life. Everyone wants to meet the one person that we will feel that we love. Yes, but if you have unresolved childhood trauma, unresolved, unhealed, unhealthy patterns where it's actually hurting you, you will be pushing yourself, you'll be putting yourself in the positions where you could heal that. And those patterns will be repeating. It will keep happening until you resolve them, until you heal yourself, until you will start to see your self-worth. Because that is another aspect. Relationships reflect our current self-worth. So do you feel worthy in your relationship? Do you feel lovable in your relationship? Do you feel like you're very important? Because if you're not, that is exactly what is going to be mirrored back to you in your relationship. First of all, it's because when we feel unlovable, when we feel we're not good enough, when we feel we don't deserve good things, when we blame ourselves for what was happening in our childhood, when we feel like we're the bad ones and we constantly feel guilty and ashamed for who we are, we will look for situations, relationships where this could be played out. And it will be exactly the mirror to us, to show us what we really need to work on, what we really need to heal, what do we need to let go of for us to grow, for us to change. So those relationships can be very challenging, but also they can be very valuable lessons for us. And no, it doesn't define you. It only means that there was something inside you that still had to be healed. We mistake intensity with connection. When we meet someone and it immediately it feels right, like, oh my god, this is the person, this is it. I feel like this is the one person. Oh my god, the connection is so real and I want to spend time with this person all of the time. It's just amazing. And it's very intense. It's like push and pull, and sometimes feels right, sometimes it doesn't. Then a lot is happening. We mistake that for connection. What it really is just the same pattern being replayed in your life to show you what kind of environment you had when you were growing up. So once again, it's about the subconscious choices. It's about the unconscious program that we have, and it's still very much active in us. And I can't emphasize this enough. Unless you heal it, unless you will really look inside and really be honest with yourself and answer those questions. How did you feel when you were a child? What kind of mother you had? What kind of care you had? What kind of love did you receive? Based on those questions, it will be exactly what it's going to be in your relationships if you're not healed. Very often, we will tell ourselves, yes, our mother were not present, but she was busy working. She did all what she could. That was an alcoholic. That was abusive. He was not really there. He was just taking money and he disappeared for a few days. So mother really did what she could. Logically, yes, we know that. But your inner child, the part of you that is vulnerable and the part of you that needed love, needed your mother, doesn't understand that. So the adult you, yes, absolutely, you can understand, you can rationalize what was happening. It made sense. This is not about blaming your mothers now. This is about your own truth. This is about being honest with yourself. How did you really feel in your childhood? Because I agree, mothers often, they do what they can do. But not every mother is loving mother. Not every mother is warm mother. Not every mother is nice, kind, caring. We get mothers who are very cold, who are very distant, very about themselves. We also get those mothers. And for a child to know that mothers, you have only one mother and you need to respect her. You can't talk about your mother in a bad manner because she did what she could. All those beliefs, they stays. It's very sticky. But the worst thing is that when we hear all of this from society and we know our own truth, who do we going to trust more? Who are we? What kind of truth are we going to take more as ours? When it wasn't safe for you to be yourself around your own mother, and then on top of that, you have society telling you you really need to love your mother because mothers are good. Obviously, you're going to completely abandon yourself. You're going to reject and push and suppress any of negative emotions or thoughts even you might have towards your mother, and you're going to keep repeating this as your mantra. Yes, it was me. I was the bad child. I couldn't stand up. She did all what she could. She did it to raise me well. She did it to help me. She did it to tough me up. She did it because she had good intentions. And when we do that, we create a huge conflict. Conflict inside us, conflict between our mind and our heart. Then we feel disconnected. We don't really like our body anymore because we don't like to feel this. Your body knows the truth. And look at your relationships. What kind of relationships do you have? Are they loving, kind? Or are you constantly invisible in them? Are you constantly trying to, you have to defend yourself? Are you constantly feeling small and like you're not worthy or not important? You're constantly being reminded that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough. Think about yourself for a second. What do you really need? What do you really want? I always say this, only truth will free you and will set you free from the chains of those unhealthy patterns of childhood trauma, of those limiting beliefs about yourself. Again, this is not about blaming people now. This is your fault because of who I am. Because of you, because you didn't love me, I ended up with this abusive relationship. No, no. As children, we never really had any choice. The only choice that we had was to survive. The only choice that we had to make sure we can maneuver and somehow fit into this environment. We would never question our environment. We never had a choice. The only choice we had was to either be ourselves, connected with ourselves, or somehow seek for sense of belonging. So of course, when we had the choice to make, we would always choose sense of belonging with someone else, with our mothers, rather than with being authentic ourselves with our emotions. So it wasn't your fault. But in your adulthood, this is your responsibility to heal those things. Why? Because your life belongs to you. In your adulthood, you have a choice. You have much more freedom. You're becoming independent, or you are independent. Your life belongs only to you. And if you won't look after yourself, if you won't look after your life, no one else will do that for you. And if you will allow, people will take advantage of you because that's what we do. If we can, we take it. If we can't take it, then it's like, what's wrong with you? You used to give this to me. How come I can't do this anymore? The minute you start to set boundaries, people will get confused. They won't understand this. Why are you changed? They often will blame your therapist. This woman has changed you. Yes, that was the whole purpose. We might also stay in relationships, not because we love someone, but because we either are comfortable or there's huge amount of fear in our hearts. Fear of hurting the other person, fear of being alone, or fear that this is as good as it gets and this is what we deserve, so better stay because God knows who is out there and we could always get someone even worse. So we try to rationalize our situation, and those rational thoughts about why are we staying in the relationship that we are even though we are unhappy will help you somehow find comfort in this without really pushing you to change it, really pushing you to come out of it. Because your mind will always try to make you feel comfortable, will always try to get you feel safe and this is okay, would always find reasons to stay. Your heart, however, will never lie to you. Your body can't actually lie to you. Your mind, you can tell anything to your mind and it will believe it. Your heart, no. You can't tell your heart, you can't tell your body to love someone when the love isn't there. Simply as that. You just can't lie to your body. So if you're in between mind and your heart, if you want truthful, authentic relationship, you got to listen to your heart. But of course, that's not everything that is there when it comes to forming relationships. Another huge component is our attachment styles. And right now there are 4 main attachment styles: secure attachment, avoidant attachment, anxious attachment, and disorganized attachment. All of those attachments have different personality characteristics that will show up, especially in relationships. So, secure attachment is when you're trusting people, when you are feeling worthy of love, when you feel good enough, you feel like you're a good person, and you feel really like you deserve good people, good relationships. You're very kind, but also there's a part of you that knows you can receive and give that kindness. It's very sharing a relationship. It doesn't feel like push and pull. Then when we have anxious attachment, we tend to be very clingy. We are very afraid that we might lose this love at any point. We might lose this person at any moment. Nothing feels predictable. We're constantly afraid that this person will disappear. We're constantly afraid that this relationship is not safe. The more time we spend with this person, the more time we can connect and feel close to this person, only then we can relax. An example of that could be when you're watching TV and it's a bit quiet. You're hugging your partner, it's all good, and then all of a sudden, it's like you're in your mind, why is he so quiet? And you start asking questions. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Are you angry? Is everything fine? Are we good? You're constantly looking for reassurance. So look at your relationship back with your mother. Was she consistent? Was she there? Was she attuned with your needs? Or you could never know how would she be. You could never know how would she react. Then with avoidant attachment, you might want relationships, but then you pull out if it gets too close. You might avoid closeness. You might avoid relationships. And when the person is far away, then you want them. When someone is unavailable, then you want them. If someone is emotionally not available, then you want them. And you might enter relationships where your partner is maybe a truck driver when he is constantly away, and then or someone who is constantly in delegations. He's traveling a lot and you just see him from time to time because this feels safe. I'm not saying this feels good, I'm saying this feels safe based on your attachment. And disorganized, this is where the biggest trauma is happened. So it feels like in one minute we want love, but the other minute we're very afraid of it and we push it away. We never know what to expect. Relationships feel very unpredictable. One minute someone is loving, charming, amazing, and the other minute they're very abusive, nasty, cold, distant. This relationship feels like it's constant fight. Pull and push. I'm here for you. What's going on? And then someone is pulling out. It's never consistent. It's never safe. When we are in those relationships, It only allows us to play out our roles. It only allows us to play out our emotions, but you can change it. You can heal this. So this is where I really want you to check in with yourself. What kind of relationship you have? And does it feel safe? Does it feel loving? Does it feel familiar? Does it feel like it's connection, true connection? Or does it feel like it's just a mirror of what you had in your childhood? And as I always said, we all have this inner wisdom, our subconscious programs. And if you have unhealed, unresolved childhood trauma, unhealed wounds, if I would give you 100 women or 100 men, and 99 of them would be secure, loving, kind, and one woman or one man in this crowd would be not secure. There would be some kind of unhealed trauma in them as well. Who do you think you would choose subconsciously? That one person. Always. That one woman, that one man, because this woman will help you see and become your mirror of what you really need to heal, of what you really need to work on. So, what to do now if we have so much going on? What do we do if we're married to someone who is exactly the way our childhood trauma is being replayed? What do we do? Do we need to leave them? Do we need to get divorced immediately? No, absolutely not. It always takes one person to change the dynamic in relationships. It always takes only one person. If you would start to heal, usually what happens, the other person goes there with you along. So without even realizing, this person is slowly starting to change. However, there is the risk. If you start to work on yourself and this person is not ready, your partner is not ready to go there with you on this unconscious journey of healing, they will pull away. And your job then will be to allow this to happen. And I see this with my one-to-one, when one person is in therapy, after some time, the relationship is shifting. The relationship is changing. Often the sex is way better, more frequent, more intense, more loving, more passionate. And it's because communication and sex are those two components that really indicator of the quality of your relationship as well. So when we have unhealed wounds, when we have unhealed childhood patterns, you will see that the sex life in those relationships are not great. And this is probably a topic for another episode alone, but just to mention in here, the sex can't be good in those relationships where childhood trauma and the unhealed wounds playing out, because simply we don't sleep with our mothers. And you might see like often sex can be a form of manipulation as well in relationships. It can often be the one thing that doesn't really work. Communication is good, everything is fine, we like best friends, but the sex is missing. So that is also something for you to revisit. What is really happening? What needs are unmet? What is really happening there? It's like emotional, physical closeness. Is that safe? Maybe it's not. So coming back to the healing processes, if one person is in therapy, yes, the other person jumps and it's doing the changing. The dynamic is changing, is shifting, and they're very happy with it. But it also happens when one person is in therapy, the other one, there's huge resentment. They don't want to change. They don't want to heal. They don't want to look at their own behaviors. All what you can do then is to allow this to happen. And this can get chaotic. It can hurt, it can be messy. But if it's for your own growth, if it's for your own healing, it means maybe you do need to let go of that person. An alternative would be couples counseling. That could also work. Your relationships are the mirror of you, of your own beliefs about love. We also need to mention in here that we all have something that it's called unconscious loyalty. And that means we will always try to be very loyal to our parents, grandparents, great grandparents, that we will always try to be connected to them. So the belief, and again, this is unconscious belief. So the unconscious belief beyond the unconscious loyalty is that, Mom, Dad, I will be just like you. And this could mean you can be in a very loving relationship, but if your mother was in a very unhealthy relationship, you will subconsciously start to sabotage your own loving relationship, because the guilt that you would feel that you have happy relationship, happy life, is almost unbearable for your inner child. So the guilt that you would have towards your mother, how can I be so happy if you were so unhappy? So I will sabotage this love, this goodness, so I can be just like you, so I can show you I'm loyal to you. That's another thing we really do need to heal, and we do really need to look at, because this is not something that you're choosing consciously. This is something that is completely unconscious, but it's affecting your life. Because no one consciously would choose unhappiness. No one consciously would choose to ruin your own life just so you could make someone else happy. That doesn't work like that. So if that was absent, if he wasn't there, maybe that's what you're going to be as a husband. You will try to be like your dad, so he wouldn't feel so lonely, so he wouldn't feel abandoned, so he wouldn't be so rejected. Dad, just like you, I'm there. I'm doing this for you. So this is the part where we're just the savers. Just to summarize this, your relationships is the mirror to your own self-worth. It's the mirror to who you really are inside and what kind of beliefs you have, what is unhealed in you. You can change it, of course you can. You can heal it, because your story is just your story. It's not who you are. This is how you're going to come back to yourself. Thank you very much for today, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.